Hi guys, Brand here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today we're recording on the same day. I know, don't get mad at me. It's just, it's just what I do. It's what I do. If that weirds you out, I don't know, that makes you kind of weird. Anyways, the thing I want to talk about today is a DVD mentality that I see kind of a lot, that I think is kind of a very, very bad mentality. It's almost a mentality that I see anytime there's any sort of like meta shift at all, whether minor or major. There's always someone who brings this up in the comments as kind of like an I gotcha, or like a hey, you're so stupid because I can't believe you would say something about this kind of position. And I think in general, it's just a bad take and a very bad mentality for the DVD community that I think kind of stifles the growth of the game. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So the thing I've noticed in a lot of my videos, like I said, whenever there is a big or small change to the game when it comes to balance, like an individual perk that's really strong getting nerfed, like a good example would be like Eruption that got solo nerfed before the mid-chapter changes. A lot of people freaked out about that. And then, like, obviously, like, new Dead Hard, people are lamenting that new Dead Hard is, like, just dead and unusable, which I completely disagree with. People like to freak out. And mainly, what brought this to my attention was, last week, I made a video talking about, like, hey, it seems to be there's a new meta forming around people playing a little bit more immersed. Like, people actually running stuff like Distortion and Urban and Shadow Step and trying to kind of, like, pair that with Sprint Burst and Lithe, able to, like, greed gens as long as possible and then run away, which obviously is not the most entertaining thing in the world. And I didn't say this in a way of like, how dare they, or why would they, they're so terrible. I was just kind of like, yeah, I've noticed this more often in my games. And if all of our games become like this, I don't know if I'll have the best time. That's all I said in that video. But a lot of people were bringing up in the comments, killers always find a new thing to complain about. That was a big sentiment I saw, not only in that video, but in a lot. But like I said, anytime there's any sort of big meta shift, whether it be killers, survivors, like killers always find something new to complain about. Survivors always find something new to complain about. When something, is perceived as just like a good change to the game that clearly benefits a side, and the side continues to have complaints after that, the immediate fight back, the immediate pushback is, well, you guys always have something new to complain about. You guys always have to complain about something. No matter how much good stuff you get, you guys are always going to be complaining. The angle is that, well, okay, well, you're being ungrateful. Things are clearly fine. And you just got something good. So clearly you're not allowed to say anything about anything bad ever. And I think that just because something problematic is fixed doesn't mean we just stop fixing things. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Let's take this in an analogy. So, like, let's say, like, my house, owning a house, which I've rented a house. I've not owned a house. But owning a house is very expensive because, things break over time and there's no like landlord to call and come get it fixed for you. You have to pay and fix it yourself. So that's an expensive thing because it's not just, your mortgage and stuff, but it's also like paying and fixing things that break down in the house. So let's go with like something like a common problem in houses a lot is plumbing. Plumbing is a big issue. So let's say my sink is leaking, but my toilet is also broken at the same time. So my sink is leaking and my toilet's broken. So obviously I need to fix both of these things. Both of these are a problem. Obviously, if I can't use the sink, can't wash my hands. If I can't, fix the toilet, we can't. Things can't exit your body. Like, what do you want to do? Go out in the backyard? Yeah, these are both, pertinent things that I should fix as soon as possible. By the logic of, oh, there's always something new to complain about, I would fix my toilet, and then I should just be thankful that the toilet's fixed and then never wash my hands. Because I should just be thankful that the toilet issue is resolved and just never, ever fix the faucet, ever. And vice versa. What if I fix the faucet first? What if I fix, the sink and we can wash our hands, the water flows our hands, everything is great. I'm never going to fix the toilet because I should just be grateful. I should just be grateful that the sink works. I should be grateful that I should be able to wash my hands. Forget that I can't use the potty in my own house. But, that the sink is fixed, and I would just be ungrateful that, I just got my faucet fixed. It'd be really ungrateful of me to want to fix my toilet as well because, I just fixed a problem. So ergo, the toilet is no longer a problem. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. But that's like how people in the DVD community perceives problems in the game. It kind of ties back in general more to like the whataboutism thing that like the DVD infamously has always had a problem with. Like, I think a good game example is like we just had Dead Hard nerfed, right? Again, Dead Hard just got nerfed again because it's been unfair in a lot of situations despite the fact that it got its initial nerf. So it was still perceived as too strong. So it got its nerf again. That would be like survivors telling killers they're not allowed to complain about an extremely powerful map like Garno Joy or Batum Preschool just because Dead Hard got nerfed. realistically, Bad and Preschool is just one of the strongest survivor maps in the game. It's got 3 main buildings and shack and a lot of pallets around. It's still strong. Just because like Dead Hard got nerfed, that literally changes nothing about Bad and Preschool being extremely strong, one of the strongest survivor maps in the game. Same thing with Garden of Joy, having like some very, very insane good loops, almost that old Haddonfield-esque God window in the main building. Like that stuff's still frustrating and annoying. Just because Dead Hard got changed for a way that more benefits killers does not mean that window moves. It does not mean the layout of the map changes. Like those things are still as strong and as frustrating as they had always been. And that's why it boils down essentially to whataboutism, because it's like, well, these things don't interact with each other really. These things are not related. And if we just decided to never complain about anything ever again just because we got good things, that means there'd be no progress. Like if you really want this game to be balanced as much as it can be, like you can't just like you can't just like say no and just be like, oh, okay, well, we must stop progress now because if you're not, you're ungrateful. Like that's how things continue to be looked at and continue to be balanced and continue to be fixed, is by continuing to raise a question. Okay, well, we got this done, and now what's next on the table? Okay, we got this done, now what's next on the table? I understand, like, if you do that too much and you're constantly like, the game's so horrible and everything's behavior's never done anything for us. Like, that's just not true. Behavior's always trying to, like, especially nowadays in the last couple years, trying really hard to, like, you know, constantly stay on the meta, try to change it, try to balance things. Like, obviously you saw Eerie got changed to be a little bit less survivor sided. But like you see that they're trying, but like, so obviously to assume that they, or say that they're just like flat out doing nothing, incorrect, wrong. But to just stop complaining ever is going to lead to like a stalling of progress, to where we never get any more of these good changes that have happened recently because people complained in the past, because there's just a big community wave of like never complain ever, and that just because one thing gets fixed, TLDR, just because one thing gets fixed and it's good for us does not mean we stop pushing for changes, because that's how we stall out progress, and that's bad for everybody across the board. And mostly the people who are saying that are just crybabies anyway, so it's just like, it's probably not worth engaging. But yeah, what do you guys think about the mentality that a lot of people have, where it's like, if you get something good, you're not allowed to complain about anything new? Let me know down in the comments below. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, friends, but that's going to be it. I do upload daily, though, so hopefully I will see you tomorrow. But if I do not, well, you know, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.